here in not too long. As soon as it researches, he will have some stasis to work with. Coming along the southern route, looks like he's going to take some damage right there. And let's see, it looks like he's trying to get in position for a nice stasis, waiting for the upgrade. Looks like it has finished. Just now getting that stasis off, and going to finally try to bring the Zealots and High Templar and troops around, but just not being very effective with his units thus far, which really doesn't bode well for him against some of the other Terran here in the field, specifically Hydra and also Nyoken, who's very, very strong against Protoss, losing some of those Dragoons to mines. He doesn't have any detection really to clear it. Some war tanks coming in to supplement this, and I think Artosis might take this game right here, pressing forward. It looks like Lauder did manage to get a little bit of an economic lead by taking that 12 o'clock, but he doesn't, once again, not able to saturate it with any drones. Looks like an Arbiter is going to get taken out to a single Goliath here in the corner, just kind of hanging out there, which is absolutely devastating. He needs those, and Dragoons continually dying across that minefield. 12 o'clock looks like he's just building it at home base and trying to work from there, but Artosis continually putting him on the onslaught. He's actually way ahead economically. He's got that base working for quite a while, and right now completely unopposed, just wandering into the base with Dragoons, Vultures, tanks to the north. There's another stasis, but only catching 2 of the tanks, which really he wanted to catch the all 4 of those tanks with that stasis, not quite able to. The Dragoons getting hit as they're coming across this midfield. Looks like Artosis actually snuck by that expansion, and he's going to start taking bases to the upper left while he's continuing to just send those vulture runs into Lauder's base, continue to just keep that minefield up. Looks like he does have a siege tank on the interior, but you can see these troops just absolutely melting here to that level one upgrade army here, and the vultures moving in, and the probes just going to get massacred. Even with this detection, he can just plant these mines, run right through into the main, and there's not a lot these Dragoons can do about it. Very cheap unit combination for Artosis. Comm setting, able to take a lot out. Now, actually, Lauder getting blocked off from his very own main expansion. Let's see if and Artosis doing all of this, it looks like, off just a couple factories. He's just putting some more factories up now to some of these outbound locations. Not really worried about his economy too much, just wants to keep that onslaught up. And Lauder just desperately trying to cling on in this match. Looks like the Vulture's able to kill all sorts of probes here in this base. The natural expansion going to go down. The main already mined out. Still pumping Arbiters, but really going to end up losing everything at his main and doesn't have a lot to work with. Otherwise, I expect a GG in not too long from Lauder. He really doesn't have a lot of tricks up his sleeve to kind of compete against this, and he's down about 60 supply. And you need to stay ahead constantly as a Protoss player over your Terran opponent. Looks like kind of moving out with a couple Zealots, hoping to maybe, and actually meeting up with his Dark Templar again. Maybe he can get lucky and kind of sneak in here to the north, but honestly, if these SCVs are heads up, they'll just be able to turn around and attack the Dark Templar wholesale, and they'll end up taking some kills, but not getting a lot done. Trying to run and do what he can with whatever units he has to slow Artosis' economy and keep the factories from pumping, but it's just not going to happen. He's already camped outside of his base. More ComSat, just taking care of those Arbiters on the front door. A little bit of stasis there, but still not enough to help deal against this large tank force. Some Psystorm coming up, but this just feels like it's a piecemeal attack that's really just going to be stopped for half a second before it floods back in. The Vulture's doing a very nice job of going in and taking out the High Templar very rapidly before they're able to escape. Just an absolute skeleton force here. Otherwise, some Vultures hanging out here at the secondary. If anything comes across here from the main, they're going to have to engage the Vultures wholesale, and you've already got these 2 tanks from the north that are going to be able to slam them as they're moving across. So an absolute troop positioning nightmare here for Lauder, and it looks like his mineral-only expansion here, where a lot of his remaining gateways are already under siege. There is an Arbiter overhead with a single Dragoon, but that's not a lot to stop a very large attack force. Mines absolutely everywhere. Artosis definitely has this game locked. It's just a matter before Lauder admits it here. And it looks like this is it for his gateways. I don't see him rebuilding anywhere, so he has to know he's lost. Maybe trying to re-examine the game, maybe hoping to get some sort of miracle attack in here, running in, but with that ComSat underneath and the much larger force, doesn't really last for long. And I think that was the last of his Dragoons. It doesn't look like he's even producing any more troops here at the gateways to the right. It does have a little bit of a force. Otherwise, another stasis, not catching as many units as he really wanted it to. And let's see, he does have the Science Vessel, which is going to mostly neutralize those Arbiters. It's just they're now kind of relegated to the spellcasting unit kind of role. But as soon as some Goliaths come here in the mix, there's really not a lot, which honestly, Artosis doesn't even need to mix that in. He can just take the damage from the Arbiters up above and just keep flooding the rest of the tanks and the Vultures in to just have them do all the dirty work. And really, there's not a lot that Lauder can do against it. Even though Vulture is not the most powerful heads-up attack units, still just by pure mass and pure upgrades and enough background defense, there's not a lot Lauder's going to be able to do. Even right here, ooh, nice mind drag though, actually able to take a lot of those vultures out. Even right here, you can see with just a mostly vulture army, able to clean up that attack force very neatly, even with the arbiters attacking overhead. So continuing to plant mines, a couple more attack troops sliding in. Looks like they're able to take care of those vultures, giving them sight across the corner. So those siege tanks on the top wall not able to do as much damage, but still Lauder working with really small attack troops, just desperately trying to use stasis and his arbiters to try to stay in this match. But all the time, Artosis just flooding in vultures and killing everything else. So it looks like he has decent saturation at the 9 o'clock mineral, only has some saturation at the 12 o'clock, but Artosis has a much larger army, he has a much larger troop count, and Lauder's just going to have to GG. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.